Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are all doing really well. So we are out here at the park today. It was actually, I live in Ohio, so weather is a bit bipolar here. It was nice this morning, and then we've had a little bit of rain off and on. I brought Hazel to the park, my cat. I don't know if you guys have seen her in a video before. Sometimes she'll walk a little bit. She's got a little harness. I got her one of those like extra small dog harnesses, and I've got a leash for her. Sometimes she likes to walk a little bit, other times not so much. Today was a not so much. I think she walked, like 5 or 10 feet, and she just laid down and was like, we can chill here, you can carry me, whatever. So I carried her around for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I have a couple decks in my car. I've been wanting to do some readings just like out in nature or whatever, and today seemed like a good day. Like I said, it's sprinkled off and on, so there are some people here, there are people that park here to eat their lunch or whatever, but don't actually like come out here into the park. So they're like in the parking lot. They just have a nice view, I guess. But there are a few people walking around, so there may or may not be some disruptions. We'll see. But I just figured, I'll do this. I'll do it today. And I had a notebook and pen in my car. It was just, everything was perfectly lined up. It's a little bit outside my comfort zone, I'm not gonna lie. It took a little bit of courage for me to like walk out here to the picnic table and get my decks out and shuffle, and even just with a few people out here. And I'm like, you know what, I've been trying to face fears lately and step outside my comfort zone and do different things. And here we are, Taurus. You are witnessing it. You're witnessing this lady right here doing something that is not crazy to other people. Maybe I've seen other people do it, but it's a little bit scary for me. But here we are. All right, so Taurus, we're gonna look at what is your focus at this time, what is benefiting you, what is challenging you, and then what is the most likely outcome if you focus on how you can overcome this challenge and focus on what's benefiting you, and just take advantage of the energy. So Taurus, we've got indecision here, and we have the Earth Keeper for your focus. Isn't that Earth Keeper card so beautiful? And it's like, this reminds me, we're out here in nature today, and like there's two paths to take, right? I feel like, Taurus, you're beginning to recognize your responsibility for your own happiness. And I know somebody might get mad out there and say, I know that it's my happiness is my responsibility. But this is more like, like say you have a job that doesn't make you happy, and you're just doing the day-to-day thing. I'm sorry, I feel like I have something on my face. You're just doing your day-to-day thing, and there's no real passion in it. There are a lot of people that do that, and they're like, but it pays the bills. But are you happy, right? Like, that's an important decision. And it can be scary to, put your resumes out at different places and try to find a new job. And it's like, well, what if I don't like it? And it's like, but you're not happy where you are. So then you could just put more resumes out and try again. Or, like if you live in a neighborhood where, like you've got, what do you call it? Like an HOA, like a homeowners association. And you're like, I absolutely love my house, but my neighbors drive me nuts. Then it's not perfect for you. It's not making you fully happy. So there's a decision that needs to be made there, or something like that. You know what I mean? Some of you, it could be that there's this energy of like, you need to dream bigger, Taurus. You need to think bigger. You need to live like, I'm getting something about your energy, because I was just sitting like very tight, and I'm getting like, expand yourself. I'm getting that, express yourself. Okay, you need to express yourself. Maybe some of you need to vent. You need to share your feelings and your thoughts with people around you. And there's this energy in the spiritual community of like high vibes and positivity only. Sorry, bug. We are in the park. Sometimes you gotta get shit out. Get it off your chest. Let it out. It feels better. Sometimes you need to vent. Sometimes you need to talk shit. Sometimes you just need to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to get angry. Angry is a step above being sad, right? There's something about progression as well, like through the emotions, through your thoughts. I feel like something is gaining momentum, something is getting bigger, and you are being called to make a decision. And this has to do with, your responsibility for your own happiness and your life. And maybe not worrying so much about other people, what other people are going to think or how they're going to feel about the decisions that you make. And knowing that everything is going to, like, it's your life. And there are things that happen in our lives, that we can't control. But for the most part, and this is coming from somebody who has, in the last 2 years, I lost both my parents. I lost a job. I lost my home. Like, I have been a bit of a gypsy, like an orphaned gypsy. And I realized, like, things happen, right? But for the most part, my life is the decision is, it is, how do I word that? There's a word missing in my brain. Like, it is, should I say it that way, Spirit? My life is the decisions I make. Yeah, my life is, our lives are the decisions that we make, for the most part. I feel like is coming up for you at this time. You're recognizing that, and there are some decisions that I need to make that are like at my focus, like in focus right now. So for what's benefiting you, we've got the Gatherer and we have the Angel of Love. So Taurus, some of you have someone, like a romantic person in your life that could be helping you at this time, that could be, somebody that you vent to or whatever, but I'm not necessarily getting that. Sorry. Oh, nature makes me feel, I love it out here, but I also have really bad allergies. And even though I take allergy medication 818 when I just looked up, and I had forgotten these focus cards, 818. Spirit really wanted me to point that out to you. 818. All right. But my allergies make me want to touch my face. I know my eyes are puffy. But what's benefiting you right now? There's a harvest going on here with the Gatherer. The Gatherer is when, if you had a garden out in your yard, it's like when everything is ripe, everything's ready for picking and canning and setting yourself up for winter, right? When we think about hunter and gatherer times, they would, and I mean, I'm from Ohio, so we still have, we're the children of the corn is what you'd call it. But, there's a season, you are in a harvest season. There's so many things to be grateful for in your life right now, and I feel like there are connections as well, not just resources. This is both. There are resources that are ready for harvest for you right now. So Spirit is saying, stop your feelings of anxiety, thinking about the future. Right here and now, you have everything that you need to make some kind of decision, and you have love and tenderness and compassion, at least one relationship in your life that is coming through, that's benefiting you in this. So somebody that has your back, somebody who loves you. But also, I feel like, and this was coming through because I'm a Taurus rising. So if you are a Taurus rising, Jupiter has gone into Gemini, or will be going into Gemini. And that is your second house. And that's, Taurus's natal house. But it makes it your second house with being a Taurus rising. And this could be for Taurus suns, I suppose, if it's coming through in the energy of the reading, because this is for sun, moon, and rising. But there are people that want to help you. There are resources that want to come in. There are, it's like a harvest. It's just like there's so much beneficial energy around you that wants to help you in regards to your resources. And it's important when Jupiter goes into Gemini, with it being in your second house as well, that you don't just squander those resources, right? Like, you can enjoy them, but you also, like with the Gatherer, like you want to jar some for winter time as well. Like if you had a garden, you can't, like if you planted, 3 rows of green beans, like you're not going to be able to eat all those green beans when they're ready to harvest. And you don't want them to go to waste either, so you would jar them. It's kind of like that is coming through, which is benefiting you, like a rainy day fund or something like that. So there could be a lump sum that comes to you, or just like benefits from different areas in your life. And Spirit is saying be open to receive. I'm hearing handout. Like maybe you'll get a handout in some way. This could come through in so many different ways, and like people just wanting to help you, or people just wanting to give you things, or some of you could even, what was that? I'm hearing like a promotion or a bonus or something like that. And it's like, don't just, like if they're like supplemental income or something like that. So don't just think, oh, it's summertime, I'm gonna blow it, is what Spirit is kind of saying. Like have a rainy day fund, save it for when, not that you have to save all of it, but like make sure that you do save some of it, but not in a fearful kind of way. It's just like, it's almost like it's like what's the word? It's just a relief, like a relief to know that you'd have it. Yeah, that's the feeling that they're giving me too. Like it's just, it takes some of the weight off for some reason, because you're planning on making some kind of big decision and expand in your life in some way, pushing your energy out in some way. And they're saying like this is going to just feel like a relief to know that you have it. There's like these benefits coming to you. All right, so your challenge at this time is patience and the council. It's interesting. Look at these cards. Look how similar these energies look. These people on these cards. Gorgeous, both of them. But like the challenge here is just finding peace in the moment, like I have written on this card. Releasing the need to control anything, releasing the need to control timing, like trying to push something faster, releasing the need to know everything in regards to a situation, releasing the need to, I'm hearing micromanage, and this is Spirit, not me being like rude, Taurus, but Taurus, you are fixed earth, and fixed earth is the most fixed of all of the elements, because it's earth, and earth is already, like a very solid fixed kind of energy, and it's hard to move earth, right? And And Spirit is just saying, you know, like, there's this feeling, the challenge is finding peace in the moments that you're in, making decisions, you know, making choices, which is what's causing this indecision, which is your focus. It's like not having all the answers, not knowing the outcome, not knowing how everything is going to work out, what the process is, what the steps are, all the intricate details. And Spirit is saying, you know, that's the joy of life. That's the fun of life, is, you know, like the spontaneity of it. And there's something about taking control without being in control. Like I talked about with the Earth Keeper, you are in control of your happiness. Like, your decisions decide your happiness in your life. And if the decisions you're making right now aren't making you fully happy, even though, you know, it may be a comfort zone, comfort doesn't equate to happiness, right? There's something about something that will make you happy is outside your comfort zone. It's outside the regular decisions and choices that you make. You need to think bigger, and if you want to go bigger and you've never been that big, right? Like, if your energy's never been that big and you don't know what it's like, you have to experience it. You just have to experience it. And the council is like the group of beings that after we pass away, after we die, our physical, you know, being, our soul, you know, basically meets this council, and you talk through your life and you say, this is why I did this, this is why I didn't do this, and you explain those things. And Spirit is saying they want you to say, the challenge here is saying yes to more things. Like, say yes. Step outside your comfort zone. Do things that maybe seem crazy to you. Like I said, I'm a Taurus rising, and it seemed crazy to me today. Like, I've wanted to step outside my comfort zone and do tarot readings, like out in nature at a park or whatever, but it took me a good while to get out of my car and walk over to this picnic table. And then when I got over here, I second-guessed myself. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. There are a few people walking around. And it's vulnerable, right? Like, I'm out in public doing tarot readings. And not in the comfort of, you know, a safe space. So anybody could come up and say something to me. Anybody could get offended. I could just, you know, it's irrational. When I say it out loud to you guys, I'm like thinking to myself, that is irrational. That is silly. But I felt all those things before I came out here. And even when I sat down, I was scared to pull my stuff out of my bag and set it up. And I did Aries reading, and then I paused for a while before I even shuffled the cards to do your reading, Taurus, because it's like it's a process for me. And here I am talking to my phone, talking to my camera, 1858 when I just looked up, right out here in front of people, and nobody said anything to me. Nobody's staring at me that I know of, that I can see, that I can feel. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's living their own lives, doing their own thing. Nobody's paying attention to me. Like, that's coming through though in your energy. And it's Spirit is saying, like, why not? Like, do the shit you want to do. Do that thing you want to do. Expand yourself. Like, fully be who you are, Taurus. Like, push your energy out and take up some space. Take up some space, Taurus, is coming through. Be willing to see things differently. Be willing to do things differently and see the outcome of it. And be willing to not need, you know, like that patience. Like, don't do things like release desperation or like the control, right? Just be cool, man. Like, just be cool, Taurus. Just do it and see what happens. And maybe something will happen that you do like. Maybe something will happen that you don't like. And then you can adjust from there. Like, I could have come to this park on a different day where there was somebody nasty here. And then I would have probably thought, well, I'll go try at a different park. And, you know, somewhere else in a less conservative neighborhood or something like that, right? Sorry, Taurus, I'm talking too much about myself, but I feel like that energy is coming through in your reading, and I needed an analogy or whatever you want to call it. So your outcome here is the broken heart and the Andean cross. So this is really interesting. I do feel like, Taurus, the decision that I feel like this is grief and loss for your old life. I feel like this card always makes me think of shedding one last tear for something, like healing a broken heart, shedding one last tear. I do feel like I'm going to go into the Andean cross so I can explain this better. The Andean cross, these are like the 4 cardinal directions, like the upper world, the lower world. I'm getting linear time as well, like the future and the past. You are passing through the eye of a needle. Like, you are being reborn, you are being renewed is your outcome. This is a birth process. If you're a woman and you've given birth, then you know that's not a comfortable process. If you're anyone, most likely, you know that doesn't look like a pain-free thing. So that's where that broken heart, like that, it doesn't feel like, oh, pain and anguish. It feels like looking back and having one last tear, but knowing you're stepping into this beautiful, bright future, and there's this hope for the expansion that you're stepping into. I hope that makes sense. But like, the Andean cross is a portal. Like, one decision, one change that you make can change your entire life, Taurus. Like, this portal energy. I don't know if you've ever made a decision in your life that has just completely flipped everything. Like, that's what a portal feels like. I know a lot of people in tarot readings will talk about portals, and then people are always like, well, when is this portal gonna happen? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, what is this supposed to be like? There are multiple portals in our lifetimes, and they generally come with a big decision. It's not just something that you wake up and your vibration has risen and you have stepped into a new timeline. And no, you have to choose. You have to make a decision. You have to see things from a higher perspective and step outside your comfort zone and put yourself in something uncomfortable, because it's outside your comfort zone. So it's uncomfortable. I hope this makes sense, but that grief and loss, that broken heart, I feel like you are letting go of the pains of your past, of trauma, of experiences. It's like you're turning your back on it. It's not even that you're turning your back on it. It's almost like it's not even going to be a part of you anymore. It's like you're stepping through this energy. And this happens to me sometimes. Do you ever like say you see somebody out in public that you haven't seen in like 15 years, and they're talking about, you know, like experiences that you had when you were younger together, and you're like, God, that was a different person. Like thinking about yourself, and you're like, that was a completely different person. Like it's hard to remember those times the way that they do. Like it might be very vivid for them, because they're still on the same timeline. They're still very similar to who they were for the most part. They, you know, their life may have changed some, but you might look back and you're like, it's really hard for me to put myself in the old me's shoes and like think about why I did this or that, or to like just to feel the feelings that they might be explaining to you, and like they might be laughing and telling you a story, and you're like, this sounds like he or she is telling me a story about another person. Like it doesn't even feel like me. I almost feel like that's the feeling that you're gonna have if like in a few months from now somebody might, you know, bring up a story about you from now, and you're like, oh God, that was a different me. That was a different person. I've grown so much. I've expanded. I just get something about your energy expanding out, your aura just being huge, and that gives me chills. And it's not cold outside. I feel like I said that in the Aries reading. That's like deja vu. There could be something about deja vu for you. But yeah, it's like you're stepping into higher states of awareness and wisdom, which is opening up a new timeline for you. But it takes courage. It takes a leap of faith to make the decision to step into this. You have to make the conscious, aware choice to do so. And that may mean, like with this broken heart, this card can also talk about like you may have to leave someone behind or leave a situation behind, and that can be bittersweet, right? Like yeah, it just feels bittersweet. Yeah, I feel like it's like one decision can change your entire life, Taurus. 2727 when I just looked up. 2727. All right, that is what I have for you, Taurus. I am wishing you all the best. I'm sending you lots of love. Until next time, bye.